All right. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing good. Today, we're diving right into how we can implement AI into sales. This is episode 2 of our new series, Make Money Squared, MM². So, hello, Ben. We're doing great.
Christian, it's a pleasure as always. We're back at it for episode number 2, Making Money Squared.
Right. Could you dive into why we called it Making Money Squared?
Of course, I can. So, to put it very simply, AI can help you and your business do two things. Number one, help you save time. Number two, help you make more money. But by default, by saving more time, you're automatically making more money. Therefore, making money squared,
Yep.
which I think is pretty fitting for what we cover.
100%. So, my name is Christian. I'm the founder and owner of Cognitech Solutions, a AI automation agency where we help you convert more leads using AI in different ways.
My name is Ben Twist, Director of Convert Leads, and I help businesses turn leads they've already acquired into more sales opportunities with AI. So, similar, making money with AI. That's the name
There
of
you
the
go.
game.
So, in today's episode, right, kind of linked to the name of this series, we're going to dive into AI in sales, how AI can make you money. So, we've got a couple questions written down. We're going to go through those. Yeah, give you guys the most value we can. All right, Ben, let's go.
Absolutely. And I guess the very best place to start when talking about AI in sales is AI going to replace salespeople? Where does that fit in? Because at the end of the day, yeah, it can help you save time and make you more money. But can it really replace a human? That's what we're going to talk about. So why don't we start off there?
Right. So, can AI replace salesmen? Really depends on what kind of salesman that is, in my opinion. If it's a person knocking on doors, of course you can't replace that. Of course you can't. If it's a person hopping on calls, like we're doing right now, can you replace that? Maybe in the future, not yet. If it's a person that's texting people, can you replace that? Yes. Will that be maybe a little less efficient, a little bit less converting than a real person on the phone? And can it do less things? Yes. But does it save time? Completely.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at it like this. You're never going to be able to, pardon me, you're never going to be able to replace a salesperson in a sales process because humans need a connection to make purchases. Because at the end of the day, why do we buy things? Because we want to solve a problem. Okay. And no matter how good AI is, no matter what level it gets to, I believe when it's an expensive service or product and it solves a very large problem, you're still going to have a human connection. That's going to be key, especially in a world of artificial intelligence, especially, it'll be more critical to have that human connection, customer to salesperson. However, anything low ROI, simple, easy to complete, you know, prospecting, qualifying, organizing data, as you said, digital door knocking, there's AI callers out there, all the text-based stuff that we both work on. It's at a level where, yeah, it's simple to qualify a lead, re-engage them, provide them value, make it in a human tone, but it's going to get them to the point where they can buy, but they still need to speak to a human.
100%. On that, I would say that is the case for high ticket sales. For low ticket sales,
Mm.
I would say it isn't really a big factor, right? At least in the buying process. Maybe on the after sale, maybe on the customer experience part, maybe on the customer service part, that when the humans need to be and need to actually, for example, if you buy a some item on an e-commerce store
Mm.
and it delivers to the wrong place, or just doesn't deliver at all, or you've been built twice, then AI cannot really do anything because it only, at least if we're talking about ChatGPT, it can only type words. As in, a human can actually do physical actions. It can actually do something.
And it can critically problem solve. Like, that's a gift that humans have by nature. We can critically analyze problems, right? And come to conclusions and find solutions. But you mentioned a really good point with the e-commerce. I'll give you a comparison. Okay. Let's say someone's trying to sell a house, $1 million house. There's no way in the world artificial intelligence is going to close that deal. No way. No way. No way in the world. However, it could be used to generate the lead, could be used to pre-qualify the lead, it could be used to answer any customer service inquiries. Compare that to an e-commerce store, as you said, where it's a lower ticket item. Let's say, as an example, an abandoned cart bot. Okay, abandoned cart, very common. People go in, they shop, they leave their cart full, and then they get off the tab. What do you have what do e-commerce stores have to have? Follow-up emails, maybe an SMS here and there, that's it. However, if you connect artificial intelligence with the communication modality like SMS, so it's no longer a one-way message. It's, hey, Krystian, you left your XYZ product in the cart. Are you still looking to purchase? If they respond, it's now a back and forth conversation. They can now answer questions about the product without the customer going back onto the website to then convert the deal. So high ticket and low ticket is a very good comparison.
I do think those fields will definitely change a lot in the future years. I want to touch on this point because you made it earlier, that in the future, salesmen will be that much more important because the AI will be everywhere.
Yes.
That's where I think it really shines.
Yes.
That low ticket will be all handled, let's say 80% handled by AI, but high ticket, that's where you would need humans. You cannot sell a $1 million house just using AI.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, throughout history, think of anything that's happened in the history of time, from a volcano blowing up, from people building things. Action doesn't occur without communication before. Of course, in a volcano, humans can't control that, but you can see the smoke and you can tell the tribe, we got to run, and that causes action. If someone wants to buy something and you walk into a retail store, you ask the person at the front desk, tell me about this. What do you have in stock? Communication happens before action. So I think it's going to be, as time progresses and artificial intelligence is more prevalent, it's going to be almost a unique selling point if you have a great sales team, people, and process. Because if everything's automated and people are used to it, you ask the average person, would you prefer to buy off a robot or a human? What are they going to say? A human, of course. So it's really going to help you stand out if you keep the salesperson there, but just amplify it with artificial intelligence. And I guess that leads on to the next question. Where does AI excel in the sales process?
Right. So where does AI excel in the sales process? We kind of touched on it before. It excels really at this point in time in the uh, speed to lead, and then a qualification process, and then appointment setting.
Yes.
Which is mainly, I would say, in most cases, based on text nowadays, which is the domain in which, for example, large language models such as GPT really excel.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it goes back to what we said in the beginning. It's the automating and scaling out the simpler text-based tasks that previously took a lot of time, energy, and effort, so that you're just funneling the salesperson's time to only revenue generating activities, only speaking to qualified, motivated buyers, only shaking hands and kissing babies, because that's where the money's made in any size business, right? No matter what you're selling.
100%. 100%. And why do you think that the AI could not handle like the actual closing of a deal?
It's a very interesting question. I think where we're at right now, I think depending on the price point and the value offer, I think it can close. I have seen text-based stuff closed. It's a fine line, right? Because we're at an extremely important, period of time where not many people are very, very exposed to artificial intelligence, right? Like if you just say, how many ads have you seen today? You probably say maybe 10, but it's closer to 1,000 to 5,000, depending on what you do, right? We're just so used to it, and you can tell that's an ad, that's an ad, that's an ad. There's an ad on here, there's an ad on here, whatever, right? So once it gets to the point where it's extremely prevalent and people can pick up on artificial intelligence, whatever it is, it's gonna get more difficult.
Mhm. For sure, for sure. Okay. So, in your opinion, for example, as we touched on before, right, in sales, humans are better than AI because they have like the human human to human connection, right? They can hold that. Now, do you think AI can replicate it, and is it really required in sales?
Super good question. Super good question. So everyone knows who does some form of sales or has sold before. Well, first of all, your business isn't a business without sales, because if there's no sales, there's no money coming in. Okay. Second of all, people, consumers, make purchasing decisions based off emotion, but then they rationalize it with logic. Okay. And as humans, we have that human connection. We can empathize with a prospect. We can, critically think and really see from their point of view, why do they have this problem? What challenges are happening because of this problem? What happens if they don't solve this problem? I think artificial intelligence is definitely getting there, getting that emotional connection out. But at the end of the day, it's a trained robot. It's not a human. So I think we're a little bit far off, but I think we will get to a point where it will have that emotional connection. I think it's extremely critical, especially when you're selling something that requires a salesperson. Okay, it's not a $100 e-commerce product. It's a car, or you're going, I don't know, you're going to a retail furniture store and you're fitting out your brand new house. You want to be there speaking to someone, asking them, what do you think about this? What do you think goes well? Granted, you can train an AI on that info, but I think right now it's going to be very forward. It's going to be very blunt with its answers. Would you agree?
Yes, I would agree on that. And I think there is ways for AI to replicate kind of like human emotion, human to human connection, but we as humans, right? There is a reason why it's called human to human, as in we can pick up on those things that it's a robot,
Super
and
good point.
it is an algorithm.
Super good point. And that's the thing, right? It's the nuance. And this is where people trip up. Pretty much everything is nuanced. Yeah, there's formulas and equations to how a sales conversation should go, how a prospect should be asked questions, how your sales process should look like. Of course, because if you want to optimize something, that you need to plot points that you could map through, right? But it's that nuances. AI can't pick up on a change of body language. You know, AI can't pick up on the thousands of micro movements in the facial muscles. How are they going to know that? The changes of tonality. It doesn't have that level of connection yet.
Hmm. It is like the human mind, right, has evolved through many, many, many thousands and tens of thousands of years to be at a point where it is now. And it's not going is not AI is not going to be at that point in what 2 years since ChatGPT came out. So,
Well,
do you think that that will be the future now?
let me just before I answer that, let me just jump in, which just came to mind when you just shared what you shared, right? So 55% of your communication is non-verbal, body language, frame, right? 37%, sorry, 55% is non-verbal, 38% is tonality, tone of voice, and only 7% of your communication is actually the words you speak. If you look back at history, language is developed much later in time compared to when humans were actually around. Mm. Humans communicate non-verbally, body language. You know, you look at history of, I don't know, thousands of years ago, and all the recreations are of humans not speaking. They're making grunts or they're using body language. You know, it's look at me when I do this. Let me show you how this is done. AI doesn't have that capability yet. It can't pick up on those nuances, which humans
Yeah,
can.
it absolutely cannot. You're right, but that's its state right now. Do you think it will get there?
On a scale of 1 to 100, I think it'll get to maybe 85. But because you see all those news articles like there's robots at home that does all of your chores, and it's got like skin looking facial features and those eyes and all that type of stuff, right? You're gonna have it, but I think honestly the serious people that need to make serious purchasing decisions, they're not gonna put their trust in a robot, because that's all sales is. It's a transfer of emotion and trust. you know Let me ask you, if you go buy a house, do you just go look by yourself and try and do a deal with the owner, or do you consult a professional who knows the field, is an expert, and can give you the correct advice and guidance to make the best decision? You go to the professional,
Mm.
of course. So to answer your question, I think we'll get close to that 100%, but for the serious decisions that people need to make, I don't reckon internally they're going to allow themselves to trust a robot, because there's always going to be in the back of their mind, right? Always. People will get more used to it, but man, I mean, it's hard enough to trust a person with $1 million of your own money to purchase something, let alone a robot, right? Frankly speaking. What do you think?
I would just want to touch on that, right? What you just said. You're not going to trust a robot, right? With 1 million of your $1 million of your own. Why? Because you can program it to say whatever you want it to say. So even let's say the $1 million you spend on a house, even if the house is completely run down and bad, you can program the robot, which is going to be the salesperson, to make it appear as the best ever.
You, you, you,
Without,
Sorry
without,
to
Mhm.
jump in, but that's actually a very interesting point, because if you logically think about it, why wouldn't someone trust a robot with their money? Think about it a little bit deeper. You can train the robot to exact parameters to solve the exact problem that this prospect needs to solve. So theoretically, it should do a better job at helping, the customer make the decision than a person, because it's literally programmed. That's its sole purpose. But when you look at it on a human level, emotionally, people aren't going to look at that analytically and go, oh yeah, they'll help me make the best decision. They're going to go, what's going to make me feel good? I feel like I trust this person. I don't feel like I trust this robot, even though statistically speaking, it can give you the better outcome.
I also want to touch, right? Because an AI, you can program it to say whatever you want, and the AI doesn't feel, it doesn't have an aspect of morality a human has. So a salesperson pitching you a $1 million house, if it's worth $5, just for the sake of the argument, he's going to feel bad within himself. A robot will not.
Well, and there's the other thing, right? It's all about the conviction in what your product is and what your solution is to the marketplace. If you absolutely believe without a shadow of a doubt that you can help the prospect solve their problem that they've told you, doesn't matter how much it is, a salesperson who understands the sales process and understands human psychology, they can help that customer make a decision. Where we are right now with AI, it's going to be very frank. It's going to be very, maybe it can get the emotion out of the prospect, but it can't reciprocate it. It can't give it back, which is required to make big decisions. Okay.
I would say 100%. And yeah, as I said, I think the human connection and trust, human to human trust, is required for high ticket sales. I don't think it's required for low, maybe for medium. I would say for medium too. There is that human to human connection that is required.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Because people don't trust robots. And why don't people don't trust robots? As I said, because it doesn't have an aspect of it in the same sense. People don't trust robots in the same sense people don't trust a psychopath. Because a psychopath really doesn't care about them, doesn't have any emotions.
Exactly. Exactly. It's, and when you analyze it even deeper, right? At a base level, you go, okay, human to human, one human has to learn how to deal with the other human to help them with the buying decision. Okay, that's trainable, right? Then you look at it even deeper. Well, let's see if we can remove this human and make it a robot. We can train it on the emotionality. We can train it on all the facts and all the guidelines, right? But it doesn't have that human connection. It can't connect on the same level as a human can. Again, it's the nuances. Yeah, it can deliver the pitch perfectly. Yeah, it can give it the facts and make it the most amazing story, emotion driving and building in the prospect, and it can fit their problem precisely. But if there's any change in the human, if there's any change in their emotion or their body language, or the way that they perceive what's being said to them, it can't handle that. There's no possible way it can handle that, which is really interesting when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, on to the next and last question we're going to cover today. What does then the future of sales look like? I think we touched on it before.
To put it simply, it's going to be the have-nots and the have-yots. Let me explain. You're going to have the businesses who are on the ball. They have a fantastic sales process that's amplified with AI, and they're going to have fantastic salespeople who know their customers, know their product inside and out. And then you're going to have the businesses that are going to be, first of all, actually, we've got three levels. You're going to have them, then you're going to have the businesses who don't have the salespeople in the sales process, who try and use AI, who are still going to be ahead than the business who has the sales process and the sales team that don't use AI to optimize their sales process, to sell more and save time.
There you go. I think, right? What does the future of sales look like? I think trained professionals, right, will be only present in high ticket sales. As in, you won't have sales positions for smaller deals, right? Even medium ticket, I would imagine not really.
What do you define as medium ticket? What price
I would
range?
say even stuff like going to IKEA to buy some furniture.
Hmm.
A panel when you can ask any questions about the specific thing you want that uses AI to get you the answer. I think is the way we're going to do sales in the future. But for $1 million house, no way.
I'll give you another example. If you go to a hotel or something, right? I was just, you know, reading on this today. People don't pick up the phone anymore. People don't like calling room service. So what do? They text on WhatsApp. They text on SMS. Hey, I need fresh towels. Hey, bring me this. Hey, send me the menu. That can be done with AI. That can be automated. That's lower ticket. Maybe you're selling a $1,000 spa package or whatever, right? But
Yep.
that can be automated. And I agree with you. I think it's going to be the high ticket relationship transactions
Hmm.
that are going to have where well trained salespeople are going to be key.
Yeah. But I think we'll try. I think salespeople will only be limited to closing the sale, or at least the near the finish of the sales funnel. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
all the qualifying, all of that will be done by AI. And also, for example, for a house, estimating the house, how much will it cost, or selling a business, how much is the business worth, and how exactly would someone go about acquiring that business? What kind of people will need to be in place? What kind of people need to be fired? Meet certain requirements. I think that all that decision making will be done by AI.
It,
Well,
it, it, it's going to be shaking hands and kissing babies,
there we go.
dotting the T's and crossing the T's and dotting the I's. It's just going to be getting over the finish line, as you
There you
said.
go.
All right. That being said, AI. Let's remind the audience again. What can AI do?
What's the main
Making
purpose of it?
making money squared.
Making money squared. Saving time and making money. Making more money. And by saving time, you're making money, so making money squared.
There you go. Now,
And what's the consensus? Sales and artificial intelligence. It's going to operationalize and automate the vast majority, but the relationship transactions are still going to require human connections, higher ticket relationships.
That's it. Now, that being said, as we said at the beginning of the video, my name is Christian, founder and owner of Cognitech Solutions. We help businesses convert more leads using AI. You can find all the links down in the description.
Ben Twist, Christian, it's a pleasure as always. We do these. We're going to be doing these very consistently. Again, all my links will be down below. Founder of Convert Leads, and we help you sell more with AI, to put it simply. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. All right. Take care and goodbye.